Recent diplomatic signals emerging from New Delhi suggest a potential paradigm shift in the global defense market. I'm specifically referring to the statements made by Russian Ambassador Denis Alipov, regarding the Su-57 fifth-generation fighter program. If we look beyond the headlines, the proposition currently on the table for India is not merely a transaction for military hardware, it actually represents a fundamental alteration in how defense technology is shared between major powers. To understand the significance of this, we must first acknowledge the primary friction point India has historically encountered with its defense partners. For decades, New Delhi has sought not just to buy equipment, but to acquire the capability to build it themselves. When India negotiates with Western counterparts, be it the United States or France, the hardware is undeniably superior, but, it often comes with a black box restriction. Essentially, India receives the aircraft, yet they are rarely granted access to the proprietary source codes or the core engineering data. That leaves them dependent on the seller for critical upgrades, integration of new weapons, and long-term maintenance. This is where the Russian proposal for the Su-57 differentiates itself entirely. According to the ambassador, Moscow was offering what can only be described as an unprecedented transfer of technology. We're not talking about simple assembly kits here. The offer reportedly includes full access to the source codes, stealth material formulation, and avionics. In layman's terms, Russia is basically offering to hand over the entire intellectual property required to understand, modify, and reproduce the aircraft from the ground up. This aligns perfectly with India's domestic Made in India initiative. The proposal envisages a phased manufacturing plan where Hindustan Aeronautics Limited, as most people know it, would eventually produce these fighters indigenously. This transforms the deal from an import expenditure into, a real investment in India's own industrial base. From an economic perspective, the contrast with Western alternatives is pretty stark. A fifth-generation platform like the American F-35 is an extraordinary machine, but it comes with a prohibitive price tag, both in acquisition and life cycle costs. Current analysis suggests that a locally manufactured Su-57 could cost India somewhere between $60 to $75 million per unit. That's significantly more cost-effective than Western equivalents, largely because local production eliminates the premium paid to foreign contractors for labor and overhead. It's also crucial to address the historical context here. Some observers might recall, actually many do, that India withdrew from a similar project nearly a decade ago. At that time, the Indian Air Force was dissatisfied, specifically because Russia was hesitant to share this exact technology. By placing full technology transfer on the table now, Russia is directly addressing the grievance that caused the previous deal to collapse. They're effectively removing the primary obstacle. If this agreement is finalized, perhaps during the upcoming summit in December, it offers India something that money usually cannot buy: strategic independence. They would possess a top-tier stealth fighter that they can build, repair, and upgrade without ever seeking permission from a foreign capital. In the current geopolitical climate, that level of autonomy, that's the ultimate asset.